the cooler fall weather. So well, we're going to go ahead and get started as everybody's here with us and stuff. We hope some more folks will continue to join, but we'll be able to watch the video later on that. So we've got several topics today. We've got some fam trips we're going to talk to you about, update you on where all those stand. We've got a lot of folks traveling. It's really exciting right now. We've got folks in Egypt and Iceland and in Turkey and the Holy Land. So we've got folks a little bit all over. So we're going to be talking about those. We're real pumped up about that. What a great picture there of some of our groups that you're able to see. We're going to hopefully be able to go live with Iceland here. We're waiting to see them to tell us that that's going to happen and stuff. We've got some special pricing on some of our 2022 Bible Land cruises. And then James is going to bring us an update from or about the Holy Land and some of the latest protocols and stuff that are evolving there, and the news that we're getting out on the Holy Land. So, Ryan, do we have Drexel on? No? Okay, we're going to either throw it to Drexel or we're going to Egypt, one of the two. So let's see what pops up here on the screen next.
The trip was excellent.
The cruise was wonderful. The entire experience was very, very positive. And despite the fact that we still have to follow all the COVID regulations, I think the entire group was very responsible about wearing their masks on the bus, using hand sanitizer. They really just went on as usual, but they followed all the rules. And I think they were very gracious about that. So I felt very safe. I felt everyone with the group was safe. I did not have any negative feelings or experiences.
The sites really, the pyramids were the most, is what I kind of came for, and I really wanted to be able to be there and see them, and just gave me goosebumps being up so close to them.
I guess one of the things I really was impressed by was the Temple at Carnage. It was someplace I've been to Egypt before, I've been to the pyramids before, but Carnage was new, and it was just amazing, huge complex that is so well documented.
No, the special place really was Karnak. Karnak. Because all of those sphinx in a row, and I mean, that told me something, that this was a different place. Well, and then the pyramids, they truly are unbelievable.
Our tour guide, Hassan, was extremely knowledgeable about Egyptian history and philosophy and techniques, and made me realize that before there were formal religions that we practice now, the ancient Egyptians worshiped God in a different way. But it really was the essence for me of thinking about a deeper appreciation of ancient histories, ones that we don't always get to learn in schools.
The guide is very knowledgeable, and he instructed us very well. I can't believe all that information, so that's great.
I found that it gave us an opportunity to meet new people that were like-minded. And so I think the EO tour, people that were interested in learning about spiritual things, hearing Sister Joan, I think we would not have met people of that kind of thought if we had been just traveling by ourselves, for example.
I find it very easy. I like the fact that everything is taken care of for me. It's very organized. It's very helpful.
Great. Well, obviously that was Egypt, not Iceland. And Ray, I think Devendorf just joined us online here. I think he's there with us, and he's in Egypt right now. Ray, if you can unmute, just say hello quickly to us.
Ray is not in Egypt right now. Ray is in Corning right now. After no, we made it home.
Good.
About an hour ago, I made it home.
Oh, okay, great. Well, thank you for rushing to get on the webinar. We appreciate that. So you had a good trip, though. It went well?
Wonderful trip. Wonderful.
Good. That's great.
I found out that it's probably not wise to drink the orange juice because it may be from concentrate. And so the Pharaoh really got back at me But
Yeah, you want to watch them squeeze that orange juice, Ray. So,
no, I know.
okay. Well,
Wonderful trip.
good. Glad you
And
had a good trip.
Georgiana says hello. What a girl. What a
Good.
person.
Yeah, she's a great person. She really is. Thank you for being with us. And James and I have been doing a bit of traveling too. Not quite as wonderful as Egypt, but close. We were in Dallas last week, right, James?
Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
we were
we had
definitely
a great
down.
time there, Ray. We had some great new experiences. James and I feasted on Texas barbecue, and I learned some new driving skills.
Yeah, yes, yeah. I also learned that if I give you directions, you don't follow my driving directions, Tom. So I shouldn't have been surprised about that, but it was still a shock.
I'm not real good with directions from anybody, James. But I did learn that you can make a U-turn in Texas legally, although I managed to do it illegally.
Yeah, it was quite illegal. That was I just so you have. I was giving Tom options of how to make this U-turn, and well, he just took an option. I wasn't even on my list of options. So yeah, unfortunately, there were no cops around, and we didn't get arrested. But anyway,
Yeah, but you can do a U-turn left from the right lane at a red light when the light is red, and you go across several lanes of traffic to do it. So just in case anybody wants to know that in Texas, that's Jane's prayer life is much better than it used to be.
it is, and I was holding on for dear life. Yes.
Great. So, we want to share about our 22 FAMs that are coming up. We have our Holy Land FAMs, both. We have one other can't even talk for a second, on January the 10th. We have 35 people, actually more than that, already registered. So that's really exciting. We have our Catholic Holy Land FAM on the 12th of January. Our choir leader FAM is coming up right after that. That is in February. So that's going to be an exciting new FAM. First time we've offered something like that in a while. We hope that you'll be sharing that out with worship leaders and choir leaders in your area. We'd like to get some excitement going around that. For the first time ever, I think we're offering Croatia as a FAM. Interestingly, I have lots of people signing up telling me, Tom, if you need me to go on that one, just call me and let me know. If you need me to represent the company or something. So I really appreciate all the generous offers that you have made out there on that behalf. Then we've got our Camino Cam coming up, a familiarization trip to the Camino for the walking with a Portugal pre-option. That looks pretty exciting. And a little bit later, I'm going to talk to James just a bit about the Camino, because I think he's going next week. That's one of our first walking tour FAMs, and we're working on that. We're working on one for the Jesus Trail in the Holy Land. We're not quite ready to promote that one yet. By the end of the week, we should be able to take registrations for our Greece FAM. That will be coming up next November, I believe, is the dates on that one. So if you're wanting to go to Greece and get familiar there, it's going to be a great trip. In fact, I'll be going to Greece on the similar FAM November the 3rd this year. So we're going there then. Then we still got our Wesley and England FAMs coming up later in 2022, and Turkey. So we've got several things that we're working on there that I hope that you will be able to start putting on your calendar and beginning to get some excitement about watching that, continuing to monitor here on the as we announce when they're happening. So be excited to share those with you. So one of the things that a lot of us here, not just James and Mark or Jamie and Alyssa and I, but our tour host advisors, so many people in the operational staff and stuff are always talking to pastors. We talk to pastors all over the country, as many of you know. And this past spring, it became painfully evident that the pastors were feeling pretty wrung out. Every time I talked to one, they were just really, it seemed like struggling with something, with with all the stuff that's going on right now, and they weren't for sure where to turn. And yesterday, James and I were in a conversation with an organization called Pastor Serve, and we're talking with them about their ministry. And they were telling us that a recent Gallup poll said that 70% of pastors felt like that they were very near depression in their most recent poll. So as we became aware of how deep this went, we talked about what can we do? How can we help people right now? So what are some things that we could do? So Joseph reached out to our partner, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, and was sharing our concerns about our pastors with them, and saying what we could do. And in response to that conversation, they gave us several cabins on several different ships that said, here, just give these to the pastors. Now Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, has a rich history of generosity. If you recall the earthquake in Haiti in 2010, they provide over $1 million in funds after that hit, and also sent several shiploads of supplies just back to Haiti to help out and do that. So, I mean, they even allowed their passengers, their guests, to contribute to the Poor Haitians Relief Fund, I believe it was called. And what a great act that they did. And so they were so generous to us, and they said, here, this is a way that we can help it where you can help. So we reached out to several denominational leaders and asked them to give us the names of some pastors that they thought might benefit from some time away from their parish and from all the things that happened there. And so I want to thank, first of all those who made it possible for that to happen, for Royal Caribbean, for the denominational leaders, for Joseph and his contacts there, and all the folks who worked behind the scenes there in Lakeland to get all these pastors and all their details, especially Joe Iris, who was working really hard on that. So, but what we want to do is just let some of those who took advantage of the opportunity and were given that opportunity by their denominational leadership to share in their own words what it meant for them to have a chance to get away in this time of retreat. So I'm going to play a little video for you.
Yeah, so as pastors, we have somewhere along the line been taught that because we live within the world of ministry, that ministry is we're not. Ministry is what we do, it's what we're passionate about, maybe what we're good at, but it isn't who we are. There is something deeper in us, and we have to step away to find that.
And when you have an opportunity to completely get away, one, it gives you a different perspective on your church, but secondly, it also gives you a chance just to take a breath and to spend some time with your family.
And the cruise part of it was so powerful because we didn't have to do anything. I mean, we were waited on hand and foot, no worrying about cooking or cleaning or those kinds of, just making decisions about what we were going to eat or do was absolutely so relaxing.
The challenges we were up against, it was like, what am I going to eat today? What fun adventure am I going to discover today? Which is so much different than the regular stressors that we experience as pastors.
We knew that everything was safe. I felt safer than I did in my own community. And it was very, very encouraging how Royal Caribbean handled that.
So it just all was a positive experience. It actually felt safer there than back in Alabama, where the numbers were rising.
And I think that Royal Caribbean did an amazing job with that hospitality and with the safety aspect of it. From the moment we got there, we were so well taken care of.
Things just looked like they were just as clean and thorough as they could be. But on the other side, my experience on the ship, on the cruise ship, was wonderful. It did not get compromised at all with COVID restrictions.
We were able to just walk off and do whatever it was that we wanted to do. So we booked a couple of excursions, but we were able to just go and do what we wanted.
And we really used this cruise as downtime. I didn't take any religious books with me. I took some other things to read and enjoy. It was so fun being with some of our fellow pastors. in an experience that wasn't necessarily work related, that we got to spend more than an hour with. So we really felt like we got to know them.
This was an amazing opportunity for my son and I just to get away and spend some time together. I had heard about other pastors going on cruises just because it was one way that they could actually get away for a few days. And so for the first time, and I can't remember how long, my son was without Fortnite and video games, and I was without my cell phone with no access to emails. And it was pretty amazing just to completely step away and to have that time to spend just with my son and not worry about the pressures and the responsibilities of the church.
So travel has been very important for me, very important in the life of my preaching, because it affords me opportunities to share some of these experiences with my congregation. But I think also travel just enhances my personal spiritual life and well-being, taking the time off, seeing new things, being exposed to other cultures, all that stuff has been really powerful in my ministry, I believe. I would really encourage people to do some things that aren't necessarily work related and are rest related and are just sort of relationship building related.
Well, you're always going to have bills. You're always going to have responsibility. I would, infer now to say, you're always going to have stuff you feel like you have to do and stuff that can't wait. But going and traveling gives you life experiences, creates memories, and builds up this joy within you. And it's kind of trying to say, traveling and doing things makes life life. So I would say, as soon as you plan it and go and do. The rest of the stress will be here when you get back.
I just think it's a real gift that you can give yourself. Is time, not just time away, but time that's a little deeper than just entertainment. I think it's Sabbath time, which we have to build into our lives. What kind of leaders would we be if we're not taking care of our own souls?
I cannot remember the last time that I went on an international trip and wasn't responsible for everybody and everything that happened. So this was absolutely an amazing experience for me, and I'm so grateful.
Do it!
Do it!
They do it now. Don't wait.
I think especially in difficult times, in stressful times, that retreat travel is one great way that you can rest, get your soul renewed, and come back recharged for more fabulous ministry.
Great, thanks everybody. James, we're back there. I want to share just a little bit for an opportunity for retreat. We've got our celebration cruise coming up in January, the 24th. I think there's a slide popping up about that right now. If you're looking for that time to get away, this is going to be a great opportunity to do that. It's a really great itinerary. We've got a great speaker with Bishop Sean and great music that will be on board. So invite you to come join us and check out that.
I just want to know where we have a video.
Drexel coming in from Iceland now. Is that right?
Hello.
Yeah, I think I believe we do have Drexel coming in from Iceland. I could hear her voice. Oh, there she is.
Yep. Hello.
Hi, Drexel.
Wow. Hey, this has been something trying to catch up with you guys today. We've been in places where there just was no signal, but you know what? I'm not complaining because this has been one of the best days ever.
Well, let me introduce you, Drexel, again. Drexel was in the studio with us, I think, last webinar. So she has found her way to Iceland. She is traveling with our group of, it's about 60 folks there in Iceland now. And I believe it's her first experience. And Drexel, we're just glad to have you back again with us. And tell us how it's been going in Iceland.
Well, it's been going fabulously. We have a great group, and I have someone here with me in just a minute if you'd like to hear her thoughts on it. But we have just had the most amazing experience. The majority of the people who are on this tour have not been here before. Some of them have, but everyone's just raving about the country in general, the kindness and friendliness of the people, the cleanliness of the country, the charming nature of the country. We took a city walk tour yesterday, and we all were just really thrilled to see the mixture of old world charm, and then you would find a blend of that with new world modern art, say. And we visited a Lutheran cathedral, which is, I believe, the largest or the second largest in the country, and that was really a great day. Everyone's enjoying the food. I tell you what, Iceland wasn't on my bucket list. I got to be honest with you. It wasn't, I didn't want to come to Iceland. It just wasn't there. But I will tell people, you are missing out if you don't visit this amazing country. Today, we actually have spent a lot of time outside and in places, like I said, where the Wi-Fi signal wasn't too strong, but we visited a beautiful waterfall. We visited a geyser park. We just got down from the second largest glacier in Iceland, where we went snowmobiling, and that was just a lot of fun.
It sounds like I saw some of the pictures, and you have a video to show us, don't you?
I do. I'm going to lose my signal here, I'm afraid, in just a second. So I did want to, can I talk to someone real fast before we go to the video?
Absolutely. We'll watch the video.
Okay. I know I'm kind of throwing this at you, but we're kind of on the run today. So Linda, come in. This is Linda Gale. And Linda, she's one of my new buddies. Linda, remind me where you're from.
I'm from Durham, North Carolina.
Okay. So why did you decide to take?
I came through Iceland 50 years ago when I went for my honeymoon, and I always wanted to come back just to stop over, and then we immediately got back on the plane and flew on Iceland Air. And I always wanted to come back. When the opportunity arose, I couldn't go, even though COVID was still a little scary. I had to come to Iceland. I had to come back. It was so clean the first time I came. I said, I have to come back and see this country and see if it's still as beautiful as it is.
Well, there's a videotape they're going to go to in just a minute that talks about some things we've done prior to today. Mm-hmm. All right. Today was AWESOME, all capital letters, right?
Yeah,
tell me what it was to you.
I did things I never would have done before, like drive that snowmobile. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. And when my grandchildren find out, they're going to go nuts. It was really fantastic. And to get all suited up like that and do that, it was like, oh my gosh, everybody should have this experience.
And the beauty at the top of the glacier, it was breathtaking.
It absolutely was. All of landscape around Iceland is like you've never seen anywhere before. It's amazing. The lava rocks everywhere, the snow, the ice, the glacier, the mountains.
And who would have known? You get to go swimming in Iceland too.
Oh, yes. Oh, and everybody does, because the hot springs everywhere.
And we did that yesterday.
And that was great.
And I believe there's some of that.
Skin is younger today.
And you'll see, we got to swim there yesterday, and they give you this white silica mud, and we all decided we look about 15 after that.
At least, yes. We should get there.
And one last question before I throw it back. While Iceland may not be a land of the Bible country, it certainly is very spiritual and affects you inside. Tell me what it's done for your faith.
Oh, well, just the nature, just to see the nature, scope of it, and how people don't destroy it when they take care of it.
Amen. That's all right. I'm going to cut Linda loose so she can go out to our super Jeep and tell them not to leave me because they're about to go.
Yes. And I don't want to get in trouble either.
All right. Tell them I'm on the way. Tell them I'm on the way.
Which one's yours?
The silver one.
Okay.
So that's it from Iceland. I'm sorry if we sound a little I don't know, haphazard, but it's just been one of those days, and I felt so blessed. We stopped so that the Super Jeep drivers could put air in their tires after going up the glacier and back down again. And I thought, well, I've got a signal. I'm just going to dial in and see what happens.
Fantastic. Well, Drexel, we appreciate your time and your expert reporting there. And it sounds like you're having a great time. I somehow missed we had a snowmobile on that trip. So we were all trying to figure out who's going on the next trip to Iceland after hearing the snowmobile story. So, and we appreciate all the videos sent back. We're going to watch that now, and I hope you have a great rest of your day and get back to Reykjavik safely and enjoy dinner.
Yes, and Reykjavik, by the way, fabulous city. I could spend 2 weeks there. Oh, so you guys have a great time, and I'm off to catch my Super Jeep.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we have the video which highlights the first 2-3 days in Iceland, and you'll see Linda again, I think, on that. And really, Iceland's just a beautiful place. I've been there not during this transition into winter. I was there in the summer, so I did more hiking in Iceland. But it's just a gorgeous country. If you haven't been in Reykjavik, as Drexel said, is really a great city to walk around. Enjoyed my time there too. So let's go to the video.
We really wanted to come on this Iceland trip because it sounded really exotic. There was geysers here, there were northern lights, there's the Blue Lagoon, and just basically strange landscape and things we'd never be able to see. But this is a great opportunity for us.
I came on this trip because I came to Iceland 50 years ago as a layover, and I always wanted to come back because I only spent a couple of hours then. So here I am, I'm back, and I like it. It's beautiful. I'm glad I came back.
I really have liked the fellowship. I love the singing. We get to sing hymns and meeting new people. The Northern Lights were really, really amazing. I know they said they were only a scale 1, but if you've never seen them, you know, it's pretty good.
Just it's interesting. I have never thought that it was going to be volcanic, and it's so many black rocks all over the place, and of course the Blue Lagoon has been just beautiful.
It's my first trip and I am so excited to be here. We came a little bit early and got acclimated. Just the beauty and the splendor of everything around is just amazing.
It's great to see the culture here, the society, as well as the natural beauty, the way the earth is actually being formed. God is continuing to create. You can see the earth emerging with new rocks and the volcanoes.
Last night after dinner, we went out to the countryside where there was no exterior light, no people, and we're able to see the constellations and shooting stars and the northern lights. It was just really very moving.
This is such a safe country. Yeah, COVID seems to be totally under control here, and if you're vaccinated and you're with people you know, you have nothing to worry about.
Once we got here, it's easy because since almost everybody's been vaccinated here and everybody coming in has been tested, we see very few people wearing masks. We have had no restrictions of any kind, suggestions to wash your hands, but hey, my mother taught me that.
And we're traveling in a bubble. We're traveling with other people who are vaccinated, we know, and have been tested, so it's not necessary to wear masks, which makes it actually easier to breathe, not to mention talk with each other.
But it's really, I feel like it's a lot safer than back home because people are tested, people are vaccinated. They don't feel the need to require masks anywhere.
Well, the food has been great. We just enjoyed every bit. The hotel has been great. It's just been a very, very good time. Tours are absolutely terrific.
I mean, the flavors, especially on that dessert we had with the raspberry sorbet, and just the whole presentation. Our waiter was amazing. He had the Scandinavian ethos, and he was 6'4", and he took teasing pretty well too, so we really enjoyed that.
What about the scenery where we are now?
Ooh, it smells like sulfur, and there's lots of steam, and you can feel the warmth.
Oh, there goes the geyser.
Just went off.
Snow and glacier-covered mountains are magnificent. Can't wait to go snowmobiling today and climb, be able to ride in a Jeep to a waterfall. It's just been exciting.
There are a lot of tourists here. It's just still the natural beauty is what you come for.
I feel like the air is so fresh here. You know, I just feel, just the breathing the air is just so fresh and clean. It's also a very clean country.
It is very clean.
Where's all the trash?
No trash. No trash. No garbage.
Seeing other places, other people, you can see we're part of a big world, and it gives us more to share.
This is amazing. It's something I have never seen anything like before. So it's pretty special.
Well, it certainly looks like they're having a great time in Iceland, and jealous they've seen the Northern Lights too, Tom. I haven't done that either. I know you have. So
now you've got to get the hot air balloon and snowmobile and the Northern Lights, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I keep adding to my bucket list of EO things I need to do. Let's talk a little bit about the Holy Land. We've had groups continuing in the Holy Land now consistently since with Todd Salzwiedel's group on a previous webinar. We've got, I think, 4 or 5 groups there right now in country. And we also have a quick recap video to show of how things are going in the Holy Land.
Every time I come to the Holy Land, it's like coming home. I know I don't live here. I know it's not the place where I send my mail, but there's a renewal, a refreshment, a familiarity of homecoming.
I invite everybody to come over and visit the Holy Land. You just feel God's presence here and connect with all the people here. Yes, we're the first group, and it's amazing, and we just want everybody in the world to come here. It's wonderful.
I have not felt unsafe at all. It's neat to meet the people of Israel here and see how they live.
On one hand, it's heartbreaking to watch that so many of the shops and everything are struggling, not having people around. But as you can see, there are very few people around here. We've never had access like this ever in all the years I've traveled here. It's phenomenal to be able to walk into a site and the excitement that the clerics and the shopkeepers and people on the streets who stop you because they're so excited to see pilgrims back again. It's been outstanding. And the few little details that you have to work on to get through to be able to make it into the Holy Land are completely worth everything completely worth it whenever it comes to the benefit that plays out.
It is just the most important thing to know when I'm here at the Sea of Galilee and all the other places where I'm going to go. Lord, I just bless you and praise you for this opportunity of a lifetime.
Things are getting somewhat back to normal in the Holy Land as far as pilgrims and tourists go. We still have a ways to go today. We talked to Ray, and I see Ray's still there. In his group that just came back from Egypt, I think, yesterday. And some of that group went on to Petra today, or went on to Jordan, and they visited Petra today. So that's our first group back to Jordan. We also have extension guests that will be traveling from Israel to Jordan, Egypt now pretty consistently through the rest of the year. We've navigated those rules, and our Jordanian travelers are able to exit out of Israel, go to Jordan, and then fly home from Amman. Israel will not allow guests to enter from Jordan into Israel or from Egypt into Israel. So we do have a couple itineraries through the rest of the year that are supposed to go to Jordan first, so we have to rearrange those, and we're in the midst of doing that, no worries. So our logistics team is working very, very diligently these days. Now, to update everyone on the situation and the entry situation into Israel, we are expecting new rules around November 1. This has been pretty widely reported now in the Israeli press between their leading Wall Street Journal type newspaper and even Haaretz, Times of Israel, and I believe the Jerusalem Post has also carried stories on this. So there will be new entry rules coming on November 1. And we do think, I personally think these will come into play primarily because the most important rule here is to the Israeli general public are that individuals will be allowed to come to Israel as long as they have a booster shot if it's been more than 6 months from their second shot. So up until this point, unless families could travel in more than 5 people, family members couldn't come back to Israel unless with a very special exemption, to actually visit family. So a lot of families have been apart for 18 months because they didn't have a group necessarily to travel with there. So that's very important for the Israeli public. So there's been a lot of pressure the Israeli government to do that. So that is, so I really think this has momentum. It's been reported too widely for the Prime Minister not to sign that. So for individuals with booster shots, they will not have to go through the pilot program. There'll be a new online registration form to register that you're coming to the country. That probably doesn't exist yet. They're still working out the details here. And this will also allow for some of our guests who want to stay additional nights. This will now allow that as long as they are up to date with their shots. And Israel, it appears, will still require a booster shot at 6 months. Now, if you have Johnson & Johnson or you can't get the booster yet, these groups will still be, it appears that individuals will be able to travel as part of a group, which is what we're doing and taking groups to the Holy Land. They will still be under the pilot rules and will have to be approved. Everything will still operate the way it has been. But it's being reported now in these same publications that 1,000 persons per day will be allowed into the country who are outside the 6-month booster window. So vaccinations are still required, but if it's been more than 6 months or you can't get the booster, there'll be 1,000 people allowed to enter per day in that category. Now, we don't know how that's being counted or who's doing the counting, when it's being counted, so we're waiting for clarification on that. But I think that is good news because there are some of us who can't get the booster to go, based on the existing rules that the FDA has put out here in the U.S. So, and you're like, well, what if I'm number 1,001 on a given day? Last month, Israel had 34,000 visitors for the entire month, and undoubtedly, a lot of those may have been vaccinated within the had their second shot within 6 months or already had the booster. So that's pretty much, I think, for November, December, an unlimited number, if you will. I don't think they're going to be exceeding 1,000 per day. So I'm pretty hopeful on that. We will get the rules. We will let those of you who are traveling, we will certainly let you know what those rules are. But if you're going, a little bit later into November, December, just hang on there. We'll see what those are. We're not going to put you into any additional penalties or anything. We're not writing any tickets at this point, either for November or December. We want to see what those rules are. So if you can just hang on for a little bit more time, you'll get to have those wonderful experiences we just heard on the video. Another positive development here that's been reported are that the serological tests will end if these new rules come into play. The PCR test requirements will continue. So that'll make it a little less expensive, one less test to pay for, one less thing we're waiting to get results on. So, again, I'm positive that will ease some of the burden for November and December entries, those of you traveling there. And I think as we clarify the booster policy here in the United States, we'll have a better idea. And I think Israel will become more liberal when they see the world doesn't end with those 1,000 people coming in a day. But again, we're taking baby steps there in Israel, and hopefully it'll keep opening up more and more. So, Tom, that's the Holy Land update. The only other thing I had to share with everyone today is we had sort of the picture of the day. Just came on my phone about 5 minutes before we came on. So I think you can maybe see that on the screen now. This is a group of our EO travelers in Turkey. The question is, where are they in Turkey?
Surely everybody's going to flood the chat room there with the right answer.
Yeah, and I put it on here because it's not a place we go in Turkey that often. It is on the itinerary, but we don't get there that often because most people don't take this extension. But it is Nicaea, which of course the Nicene Creed was named for this location. So our group was in Nicaea here just a couple hours ago.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think one of the things for me when I did my Turkey land trip last October, about a year ago now. For me, the realization that how much Christian history is there in Turkey that we sometimes miss, that we don't visit and see. So, gosh, if everybody gets a chance to take Turkey, that I think my fam should fill up for next fall in just a few minutes after we open it up, because it's such a wonderful place. So,
one other thing, I know we had one question here about United's mask policy. I apologize, I forgot to answer that one. I fly United all the time, and it's pretty much you bring whatever mask you want to bring to. There are a couple of airlines that require the KN95 masks, you know, but I want to say Lufthansa does that, but United is any whatever mask you have. It can't be one of those ones that are around your neck and you pull up like that. It's got to be a normal mask, but you can bring your own. There are no special requirements on United.
On United, okay, good. That's good to know. I'll be flying Lufthansa next, so I'll need to check in on that.
Yeah, you may want to check that one.
Can you unmute Ray there, Ryan? I see Ray waving his hand.
Yeah, it's just a mask. Actually, I had a mask that I bought specifically for this trip, thinking I could breathe better with it and all that stuff. United and, well, definitely United gave us masks. And so if you didn't have what they thought they wanted, they gave you a mask to wear. And even though mine was advertised at 99%, I wore the paper one that they gave us. So just update you with that. That was yesterday, day before.
Okay, thanks, Ray. Appreciate your update on that and having that experience there. So excited about that. So James, now we're talking about familiarization trips and places we're going to explore and stuff. You're going next week to someplace you've not been before?
Yeah, I am going. The only country, well, there's two countries in Western Europe I haven't been to. One being San Marino, never made it to that little enclave in Italy. And the others, I've never been to Portugal. So I am going to Portugal next week. Never been to Lisbon or Porto or even Fatima. So going there for 3 days. And then the other thing I really wanted to do, because I sort of got these hiking things started a few years ago with the Jesus Trail. So I've not actually hiked on the Camino. So I'm going to do those 2 days that are on the FAM from Arusa to O Pedroso and then O Pedroso to Santiago. So I don't know, it's somewhere 25 miles. So looking forward to doing that and understanding the Camino a little bit better. And I figured, you know, next year it looks like it's going to be so busy that I better squeeze that in here this fall. So that's what we're doing before I head to Greece next after that.
Yeah, great. Well, and it'll probably be much safer than riding with me in Dallas. So I'm sure you'll have a great time on that. But yeah, I think that we've got some exciting places coming up. We just got a question that popped up that somebody who joined in on the conversation late asking about the land borders are open one way from Israel to Jordan now. And that's correct. We can go from Israel to Jordan. We can't come from Jordan to Israel. Correct, James?
You can go from Israel to Jordan. You cannot come back across. So groups on our Holy Land via Jordan program will now fly into Tel Aviv, do the Israel part of the itinerary, and then go to Jordan and do the Jordan part and then fly home from Amman. If you're on the Israel via Jordan program, if you're on an extension, you will cross the border. And right now that's the Allenby bridge that has been confirmed. And then you will fly back from Amman. You will not have to come back to Tel Aviv. So again, we've delayed doing the ticketing just so we could see what the rules are and do that. So our first group's going via land. We'll be traveling next week. We've got 2 groups in Jordan today. One flew from Tel Aviv to Amman before we knew we could actually use the land border. So we were sort of pioneers and pushing through that land border option. And now we're seeing it, we see it that it's going to be in the new rules. So sort of patting our team on the back for being persistent and getting that done and sort of blazing the trail there.
Great. Thanks, James. Appreciate that update and exciting news there for folks who want to be able to go to Jordan and visit that beautiful country too, and see those amazing sites of Jerash and Petra and Magala, and just some wonderful places there. So, as you get ready to head out, next webinar that we're going to have, you're going to be in Rhodes, right? You're going to join us live from Rhodes. We at least hope that will happen.
I'm going to join you live from Rhodes on the 28th. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the 28th at 11 o'clock. James will be live from Rhodes. We're going to talk to him there. And we've also got one of James' other bucket list moments that we're going to be talking and sharing about. The gullets there in Turkey from out of Bodrum, right, James?
Yes, we are. We're going to talk to your friend Tom. I don't know if he's joining you live there, but we're going to see those. And yeah, it's really I'm tempted. It's a short cruise from Rhodes over to Turkey, to Marmaris. It's on a nice day, it's 30-minute ride. So maybe I'll just sneak off the ship and do that.
You never can tell. You never can tell. So next webinar will be on the 28th at 11 o'clock. James is going to be in Rhodes. We're going to be talking about the gullets there in Turkey, which are phenomenal. I've been seeing pictures. I'm so jealous now too that I didn't go on that. We have a Med Cruise promo coming up. We'll be talking to some folks who've been on the river cruise. James will have more information on the Camino. So it should be a really great webinar in a couple of weeks here that we've got planned for you. 11 o'clock on October the 28th. As we get ready to sign off, I want to go back to our celebration cruise. I don't know if Shelby, Ryan, John, you guys have the slide. If I can throw that at you to put back up. But check out this itinerary one more time. We've still got some cabins left on it. I mean, it's a really great trip. It's going to be warm weather, January the 24th. It's going to be cold here in Kentucky. It may be even colder where some of you guys are. So head on down, plan now to come down, join us. It's sailing out of Tampa, which is a great opportunity to do that. So we'd invite you to consider that price. I don't think you're going to find a better price there. So I see Ryan putting the link there on your in your notes in your chat. So we'd encourage you to do that and just get away. I mean, we all need to take a deep moment to take a deep breath and just get away. And I think that the folks who shared with us on our retreat video cruise would attest to that. So we hope that you'll be able to be with us. I hope to see you soon. Hope to see you in a couple of weeks here on the web.